coming off that national championship, 2 College World Series teams, and this just may be a preview of another matchup in Omaha in a few months. Dave Neal alongside former Stanford All on the mound today that's going to try to push it to 19-0 is Marcus Phillips.
It's a big-time arm, but I think the one thing to remember with Phillips is this is just his 3rd start in Division I baseball. Had 2 starts last year, primarily out of the bullpen. It's a mid to upper 90s real fastball, but he's looked comfy in the starter's role so far this year. We talked right before we came on the air. First SEC start ever, his 2 starts last year against Bellarmine and Queens. This is a different lineup.
A completely different story. And he hasn't thrown many innings at all in his college career because of injuries, and obviously last year just trying to find some room on that staff for Tennessee. As you saw the Gators lineup, Justin Nato lead things off out in right field. 1 for 3 last night. Boy, he has been an outstanding pickup for the Florida Gators. Hitting .429 on the year. Transfer from Jacksonville. Played 2 years at Jacksonville. Started 78 of 79 games over his 2 years that he played in. Got off to a great start. First 2 games he played as a Gator this year, went 6 for 7 at the plate with 4 RBIs. 2-2 count. Slaps that one off the netting. We'll do it again. And congrats to Tennessee basketball. They just took down Auburn 70-65. They move on to the SEC championship game tomorrow.
Now they're all going to start filing in. Basketball just won. Now you can make your way into Lindsey Nelson.
Shot down the line and left.
By the way, Marcus Phillips just hit 100 in the first inning. Was living 98, and then that ball that was fouled into the Florida dugout was an even 100.
They're accustomed to that here, aren't they?
I know we've talked about the last few years, but the influx in velocity and the change in, I would say, the last 5 or 6 years is incredible. I mean, it's rare to see somebody start on a weekend not hit 95. Yep.
Well, the out was triple digits again.
Yeah. And on the outside black at the knees. Listen, I don't care who you are and how good of a leadoff hitter. If they're going 100 outside black at the knees, that's a hang with them. Probably going to win that one on the mound.
So the first strikeout for Marcus Phillips. Bobby Bozier steps in, the third baseman. Goose egg last night, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Still hitting over 300 on the year. 306, 7 homers, and 25 runs batted in. Another transfer. He moved just up the road from South Florida.
You got 4 transfers offensively, or at least first-year transfers offensively in this Florida lineup. 1 from JU, 1 from USF. Blake Sear from Miami. Landon Stripling from Texas Tech.
That one misses a little bit low. Those are 3 years at South Florida. Played in a bunch of games. 127 overall. Started 106 of those. Boy, Phillips. 6'4", 246. An imposing figure, 60 feet, 6 inches away. Fouled straight back.
And for Phillips, too, when we talk about the velocity, he's already been up to 100 today. He's walked just 6 guys this year. 6 walks, 25 well, now 26 strikeouts after the strikeout to Nato to start. But the control, for the most part, has been pretty good. I can make it 6 walks, 27 strikeouts in the first 2 of this game. Both of them on this. Fastball between 98 and 100 so far. That one at 98. You can see Bozier just a little bit late right there, and a great start for Marcus Phillips on the mound.
Here's Colby Shelton, the shortstop, hitting in the 3-hole. Boy, he has had some sort of run offensively. It's been his freshman year at Alabama, last couple of years with the Gators. Started every game last year at shortstop, 20 home runs. Had 25 the year before as a freshman.
Yeah. I made the switch to short last year, and that was, I think, a switch. He played third base at Alabama last year at short. Stuck there the whole year. Obviously, Florida maybe underperformed during the regular season, but then find their way to Omaha yet again, and Shelton was right in the middle of that lineup and right in the middle of the dugout. Or excuse me, right in the middle of the diamond.
Slaps it the other way.
You know, it's interesting talking to Kevin O'Sullivan about Colby Shelton this morning. And he only has 2 home runs right now. I mean, he's going to hit home runs. But he was just talking about how his hit tool has gotten so much better because he's using the other side of the field. Does it right there. Wasn't a full shift on, but Dean Curley had him pitched up the middle a little bit right there, and Shelton shot it through the left side for the Gators' first hit.
Yeah, Blake Sear steps in, but that's an interesting dynamic. He came with the power first, and the hit tool maybe second, which normally is the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of kids that'll come in, and the power is the last thing to show up in college. For Shelton, he had power numbers from the jump.
Well, they had him picked off. Shelton was taken off, and Phillips, I don't think, knew about it. Nobody recognized it.
It was a good job by Phillips right there to not balk. Because a lot of times when guys start yelling in that situation, you flinch just enough for a balk.
Sear, another transfer. He's out of Miami. A couple of seasons with the Hurricanes, played in 85 games. He's a guy that was a middle infielder initially, moved out to center field last year. And that has kind of been his home now out in the outfield. Was a freshman All-American a couple of years ago when he hit .305 with 17 home runs with the Hurricanes.
It's a really deep Florida offense. And they're still not 100% from a health standpoint. But I think when you saw the Gator offense last year, top 5, 6 in the order, you said, okay, they can do some damage. And then 7, 8, 9 was not consistent.
Runner goes. The throw from Lawless, not in time. Close play, but a stolen base there for Shelton, and that'll be his 5th of the year.
You could tell early in this at-bat, Shelton was maybe going to take a chance.
He'll be nailed by a few in college baseball.
And let's go ahead and throw in against the defending national champs who have not lost a game all year. He's looked apart, though. He has really looked apart. I think the one thing that stood out the most to Kevin O'Sullivan so far for King is the combination of control and stuff. The poise has been great. He's walked only 2 guys. Each of those walks came in his first 2 collegiate appearances. Start against Harvard when that week he was named SEC Pitcher of the Week. He didn't walk anybody. But this is a different situation, and I think that's the only question about King right now is how do you react when you get in the middle of SEC play? We'll see on that first start today.
.55 ERA certainly works. And he'll face this lineup right now that's the 3rd best hitting team in the conference at .335. But they have already hit 50 home runs to lead the Southeastern Conference, 1 better than the Georgia Bulldogs. Dean Curley, a couple of hits last night, will lead things off. The sophomore out of Laverne, California, hit .285 last year with 12 homers and 10 doubles. This year, he has already hit 6 home runs and 23 runs batted in. But this is a very impressive lineup, despite missing so many of those pieces that led him to the championship last year. It's like they haven't missed a beat. So the first pitch from Aiden King will be delayed a moment. And that one misses a little bit low to start things off. King's a guy that loves to work fast, and they're going to slow him down for sure. That is definitely an edict as you watch Curley step out of the box. Batters have to be ready to swing at 8 on the pitch clock. Chopper out to short. Colby Shelton makes the play there. That'll be 1 down. That'll take us to the 2-hole hitter. So Gavin Keelan, who has been a special find, a transfer from Louisville out of Wisconsin, Milton, Wisconsin, hitting in the 2-hole. He's only swinging it at a 450 clip with 8 homers on the year. And over the last 12 games, it's close to 500, a 477 mark. He is 3rd in the SEC in batting average, right behind his teammate Levi Clark, a freshman out of Atlanta.
You talked about the offense that Tennessee lost. First team in the history of college baseball to have 5 guys hit 20 or more home runs. They're all gone, every one of them, and yet this Tennessee offense has already hit 50 long balls this year.
Keelan through the left side. Well, you mentioned that production. This is what it looks like in terms of numbers. 65% of their home runs, 55% of their RBIs. This is a team that hit 184 home runs last year, and they lose 120 of those.
And their rotation.
Yeah. Oh,
and they're 18-0, the last standing undefeated team in the entire country. And for Tony Vitello, it just feels like rinse and repeat. Yes, some different names, but some guys that if you're a college baseball fan, you know some of those names already.
Here's Hunter Ensley, one of those returners, the center fielder. A real leader on this team. A senior with a couple of home runs, hitting .316. Already with 6 multi-hit games. Makes it 7. I forgot about last night. 7 multi-hit games for Hunter Ensley. Hit .296 last year with a dozen home runs. Ball was jumping out of this place during batting practice this morning by both teams. We saw some hit the top of the scoreboard over the batter's eye. I mean, it was flying.
That's more of what you expect to see when you come to this ballpark in batting practice. Not necessarily the setting last night when the wind was howling in.
Fouled off at the plate.
King's a 4-pitch guy. Fastball control is kind of what he leans on. It's 2 different breaking balls. He'll throw a slider and a curveball. And he'll throw a split, too. A lot of times that split will come when he gets in 2 strike counts. Doesn't use it a whole lot until he's looking for swing and miss.
That one's fouled back. We'll do it again. King on the year has given up just 9 hits in 16 innings coming into this one.
I think that was the split. And it maybe wasn't exactly where he wanted to throw it, but velocity difference was just enough kind of late arm action, enough sink to get it in on the hands. You can see Hunter Ensley trying to pull that hands in to get the barrel to it, but the split was enough to keep it off the bat. First strikeout of the night for the freshman.
Here comes the Ole Miss transfer, Andrew Fisher, who has been on a power surge of late. 6 homers in his last 8 games. Started his career at Duke in 2023, then went to Ole Miss last year. Young man out of New Jersey's found a home here in Knoxville and is anchoring that first base spot for now. Look at the double bag the base runners have to hit. Can be either that orange or green color. Tennessee decides to go with the green.
That surprised you?
A little bit.
If there's any place they're going to go orange, you thought they'd go orange here.
Well, maybe after this discussion, they'll make it orange.
We have that kind of influence, huh? So I'm sure they didn't think about it. There's no way it came across their mind.
You're back here soon, I think. Maybe you'll get the orange one by then. Special treat for KP, the orange bag. But that bag will be used throughout the season, and it's on plays down the line. Once the play is made, that bag is no longer in existence. So from here on out, the runner at first continues to touch the white base. There have been a couple of hiccups over there this year.
I like it. Honestly, I like it. I mean, the safety component is a big one, but the play that I think is always the hardest is when the entirety of the base is in fair territory and you get hit with a throw going down the line.
Well, that thing has popped up a mile in the air out to center field. That is caught there by Hayden Yost, and the inning is over. Brendan Lawson will start things off for the Florida Gators. Lawson, the freshman. Last night went 1 for 3 with 1 strikeout. .333 on the year, 4 homers, couple of doubles. And that was rather quick. 98 miles an hour. 3rd strikeout.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night right there. And I think Lawson must have been looking slider because he just froze on a fastball that caught a bunch of the plate right there. That's 3 of the first 4 outs that Phillips has retired have been via the strikeout.
Brady Donay. Brady last night, couple of hits, 2 RBIs on one of those base knocks. Brody will foul that one down the line.
Donay got off to a really fast start from a home run standpoint. About as imposing as you're going to see in the box in any program this year. And he's also a catcher. We'll see a lot of catchers that have that build, but DH today.
Fouls that one off again. He started his career at Virginia Tech, 1 year there, now in his 2nd season in Gainesville. Phillips has thrown 7 straight strikes. And make it 8.
Now, the stuff is so good that if he's out there and Phillips is ahead of you 0-1-0-2, it is just not a comfortable at bat. Filled the strike zone up so far to start this inning. 2 quick strikeouts, now 4 in the game.
Landon Stripling will step in, the 7-hole hitter for the Gators over at first base. One of those transfers. He comes by way of Texas Tech. Makes his home, though, in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Went to a baseball powerhouse there, Parkview High School. At 24 starts with the Red Raiders. Played in 33 games and hit .253, 4 homers. Was a really, really good high school pitcher. Gave that up, though, when he got to Texas Tech. Seems to have worked out just fine for him. Two and two outs.
freshman to show up and to have the start that Levi Clark has had, there's not a lot that look like that either. I mean, it doesn't look like a freshman. Steps in and the power has been there. This time takes a fastball in on his hands, gets enough of the barrel to drive it to right.
First, as the third baseman Bobby Bozier came crashing in. So that works well. Don't see Tennessee doing a lot of small ball with this lineup.
It's their second sack bunt of the year. I think it's also a little bit of an indicator, and it was no different than last night. There's a lot of respect for the arms that are on the mound on both sides, and it doesn't feel like it's a 10-9 game. Figure out a way to push that first one across feels pretty good.
So the infield will play in with one down for Manny Marin.
Yeah, there would be another indicator that everybody thinks it's going to be a close game. A sack bunt from Tennessee in the second inning, and Sully brings his infield in the second inning.
The freshman middle infielder out of Hialeah, Florida. He came in as a top 25 ranked player at his position at shortstop, coming out of high school, the third best shortstop in the state of Florida.
Tony Vitello was raving about the freshman this week, and a lot of it was the glove work and trying to figure out a place that they can get Marin regularly in this lineup. Takes a slider that wasn't that bad of a pitch. Outer third, moving away. Manny Marin stays on it, drives it out to center, gives the Vols their first lead of the day.
Stone Lawless gets the start at catcher today. He'll look at a pitch off the plate. Lawless over his last 5 has been tearing it up at a 429 clip. A couple of homers and 9 RBIs over that stretch. Had a 2-homer game against St. Bonaventure. Two and two the count now. Only one remaining unbeaten left in college baseball, and it's right here in Knoxville. Florida took down the last unbeaten on Tuesday in their midweek game. The Florida State Seminoles went down. They were 15-0. That one lifted out in the air to right. Nadeau is there to make the catch. The tag at first. So Marin reaches second base. There's 2 outs in the inning. So the Gators trying to knock off the last 2 unbeatens in the same week if they could pull it off today. Well, they just tried to appeal the play at first. It was a live ball. They threw back to first to see if they could get Marin, who they thought might have left the bag early. They bobbled the ball at first base, and Marin took off.
That's pretty heads up by the freshman out at second base. You talk about the game slowing down a little bit, and it doesn't always happen for freshmen. Did right there. Saw they were going to appeal. Ball gets away at first base just far enough. Stripling can't get it. Andy Merrim moves up 90 feet.
Abernathy looks at ball one. I don't know that I've seen that before. Have you?
I mean, I can't think of when I have.
Yeah. It's not a common play. That'll be fouled down the line and left.
I mean, we've already seen Abernathy make a highlight reel catch out in the left field. Talking to Tony Vitello earlier this week, this is his next center field, at least as of right now. Hensley out there right now, rightfully so, but Abernathy, and he showed you why in the second inning, has the ability to play the center field spot afterwards.
And he'll go down to end the inning, but the Volunteers do pick up the opening run of the game.
School, and he's done that even more at this point. I mean, 9 of his first 17, Florida's ended their year in Omaha. One time they hoisted the trophy.
Last year had to go on the road to Clemson and knock off the hot Tigers to get to Omaha. A hot shot to third. Marin there to make the play. That'll be one out as Luke Heyman is retired. Now Hayden Yost, the center fielder, will step in.
I think Tennessee has 4 shortstops. Now, one of them's not playing. Antigua's not playing, who is about as good a glove guy as you're going to see. But their infield defense this year could be lethal.
Yost looks at a first pitch strike, the sophomore out of Tampa, Florida. Got 14 starts last year as a true freshman for the Gators. This season was cut short, though, late in the year after he was getting some action. Had to shut it down last regular season series and into the postseason. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count.
Slider's been good today for Phillips. He gets the swing and miss against the slider versus left-handers is an extreme number. It's about 62% when they swing at it, they swing and miss.
Out to left. Abernathy on the run, gets there in a hurry and makes another catch. This not as spectacular as his last one.
Yeah, so don't hit it to the left side. Right. Because there's some dudes over there that can really defend. One up out and left side of the infield for Tennessee. I guess there's a reason why they're 18-0, Dave. They some new names, but man, do they look the part so far.
Back to the top of the lineup. Nato will step in. He was a strikeout victim to get this game started. He was a career .332 hitter at Jacksonville in 2 seasons. We're talking to some folks around the Gator program. It's like, you know, these guys, they've played some good level, high level competition, but it's just something different about playing the next 10 weekends in this conference. Like,
well, facing this.
Yeah.
I mean, you faced maybe the best fastball in the country last night in Liam Doyle, and now you get a guy that hit 100 in the first inning, day 2. I mean, the reality of this league right now, and I think it's more so than any other league, you better be able to hunt a fastball, because you're going to see elite fastballs at least once over the course of the weekend, and in some cases it could be 3 times.
2-2 on Nato. And he held off. Fourth full count of the game for Marcus Phillips.
Gators did a great job last night of pushing Doyle's pitch count up early, and I think That's probably what you'd like to do with Phillips, but if he's throwing strike one a lot, it's a lot tougher to go up there and be patient. And it's a Gator offense, at least coming into this weekend, that swung at the first pitch, the highest percentage of any team in the SEC. But you got to react to who's out there on the mound, and the idea last night, try to drive the pitch count up, get Doyle out. Sure, that's the same approach tonight.
Foul back in the same spot. Boy, Nato has seen 16 pitches in his first 2 at-bats.
I'd say that's what you're looking for out of your leadoff hitter.
Ground ball, that's going to sneak through for a base hit. That is how you do it at the plate for Justin Nato. Hanging in there, hanging in there. Finally got the base knock. That'll be the Gators' 3rd hit.
Remember that first base coach for the Gators? See who's standing over there? Michael Byrne. He of the disappearing fastball that was a closer that threw about 90 miles an hour, had a great collegiate career.
Nobody could hit it. Ground ball out to 3rd. Scooped up there by Marin. Offline throw, but there is the tag. A little stare down with Fisher and Bozier.
It's the summer's crazy, and I mean, everybody wanted to talk to Tony before he won a national championship, so now it's crazy. And then you got to do the speaking circuit and everything else. And oh, by the way, there's guys in the portal right after you're playing in Omaha, so now you got to reload your roster because you lost 100 and some home runs. And then fall ball starts, and before you know it, you're like, okay, now we can slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I think he was ready for this season to get underway. A lot of these coaches are so focused on the task at hand. Dean Curley, one of those guys on that team last year in Omaha.
Tony really raves about this kid's leadership abilities, and you could see pieces of it when he was a freshman, but he didn't have to lead. There was leaders all over the place. Now steps into a role, him and Ensley, to where they are looked as that.
A slow roller out to short, fielded there.
Very good that time.
Here as we move to the 4th. That's pretty impressive. 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and no walks.
Yeah.
Iowa Western Community College.
If you can name their mascot, I will buy you a fresco when we get done with this.
The Bullfrogs.
Not even close.
Okay, I gave it a shot.
It's a river dog, if that helps.
Close.
It's not called, it's a different word for a river dog, and you're still not going to get it.
There's a base hit from Colby Shelton. His 2nd hit today.
It's the Reavers.
Yeah, there was no chance.
That's why I was willing to gamble on such a thing.
Iowa Western Reavers.
Got it.
Now batting the left fielder, Blake Steer.
Well, that's where Marcus Phillips spent his first year of college baseball. Blake Sear singled his first time up. Well, he's riding a 9-game hit streak now. There's Phillips and what it's looked like. Again, we'll go back. Not a whole lot of innings for a guy that's 3 years in college.
32 1/3 innings total coming into this season. 2 career starts at the Division I level.
And who were they against?
It was against Bellarmine and Queens,
Okay, right.
not Florida.
But looks the part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the stuff's through the roof. It's really just 2 pitches. I mean, it's fastball slider. That's what you're going to see. But, again, the fastball, at least early, was between 98 and 100. It's dipped down a little bit right now. But if you dip down and you're throwing 95, life ain't bad.
High in the air out to the right side. Reese Chapman makes the play. That'll be the first out of the inning. Liam Doyle, who pitched last night for Tennessee, left-hander. I mean, he was pumping 96, 98 all night with the fastball, lived with the fastball.
Yeah, and Liam Peterson on the other side was outstanding. Yeah. I mean, he was mid-90s. We just say it over and over and over again right now, the velocity. That is some of the best. I mean, from a swing and miss on a fastball, nobody's numbers are what Doyle's are this year.
Leading the country in strikeouts. 6 Ks last night, 4 2/3. Again, 100. Look at that, 105 pitches in 4 2/3. Kudos to Florida.
Did what they wanted to do.
Foul tip. Lawless can't hang on.
Stone Lawless just, I mean, it sounds like a middle linebacker and a catcher. Yeah. Like if Stone Lawless was really fast playing center field, it just wouldn't seem right. He's got to be put together and take some foul tips.
Dean Curley made the catch in front of the bag. And it looks like we're going to have to maybe take another look at this, perhaps.
Curley was a little bit late getting there. And it wasn't a delay. It wasn't a great break either, but it wasn't a delay. Did he get that back foot or not? That's the key, to get him on the way by.
Stolen base. Is thrown out for out number 2 of the inning.
Florida's been aggressive on a base pass. I mean, Shelton's attempted 2 steals. They thrown out at home plate to end the first inning on a hard single to left field.
You know what's amazing about Florida? They just don't. They didn't run last year. I mean, it wasn't part of what they did. Colby Shelton led them last year with 6 stolen bases. He has 5
already.
Yeah. It's an aggressive Gator team in 2025. They may have somebody in double digits. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over. So Lawson goes down to end the inning. Nobody on. Coming up, we'll talk with Tony Vitello about this 2020 time.
Hey, Tony, we talked earlier this week. Obviously, there's a lot of new names, a lot of new faces. You were raving about Jay Abernathy. Yeah. Just as a kid, as a player, he makes a highlight reel catch in the second inning. What have you seen out of him so far on campus?
I mean, just unbelievable presence, and this guy up to bat and him were the work ethic leaders in that freshman class, and he's not scared. It's just, like I told you guys in the call, it was a lot of likable traits, and so the SEC is all about hate, because if they're not wearing your uniform, you're literally born and raised to hate everybody else, but it's really hard, really hard to not like Jay Abernathy no matter who you are.
All right, a lot to like about your team. We'll let you get going. Appreciate the time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, I hope you guys are having fun up there. It's barely stressful down here.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, last night, you could get prepared. You can play some of these preseason tournaments and, play some good competition, but it's a different deal. And this guy, Levi Clark, singled or actually doubled his first time up as he led off the second inning. And, I talked to Tony. I've known Levi for a long time, played with my son, and talking to Tony last year, they were concerned he wasn't going to make it here. The draft would have got him, but word kind of got out about Levi that he wanted to really be a Tennessee Vol and slipped down a lot of draft lists, and fortunate that he was able to get on campus. And I don't think anybody thought this was maybe not now.
Fast.
Yeah,
I think you made the comparison to Pete Alonso, which I think is an interesting comparison just as far as body type and power. But we were talking to Sully about Pete this morning, and he's like, you got to remember, Pete didn't have that type of power his freshman year. It came later on. Well, Levi Clark has had that kind of power already. This becomes the real testing. I mean, you talked when we came on, it's the first of 10 straight weekends in the league, and then you go to Hoover. Now we start to see, does that power continue when you're facing arms like the freshman he's facing 60 feet away right now?
Good take by Clark there, who came out of high school ranked as a top 40 prospect nationally, the 4th ranked catcher in the country, the top catcher in the state of Georgia. Already SEC Freshman of the Week honors. Hit a 3-run homer in his college debut. And I think there are a lot of people that follow the game that, you know, on social media things, if you're paying attention to the college baseball world, he grabbed your attention when he hit a monster home run at Minute Maid Park in the Astros Foundation College Classic. I mean, a moonshot that was a towering highlight.
Left the stadium.
Yeah. 9th pitch.
I think the thing that's impressed me the most about Aiden King, the freshman right-hander for Florida today, is his confidence in not trying to miss bats. So you see a lot of guys first start in the league, or sometimes any start in the league, that go out there and dance around the zone. This kid's not afraid to use his fastball. He pitches on both sides of the plate, and he throws it with big-time confidence.
Here's Reese Chapman. A junior right fielder out of Parker, Colorado, 3rd year in this Tennessee program. Started 32 games, played in 50 last year where he hit .293 with 13 home runs. Fouls that one back. Reese had a nice start to this season, had a 15-game hit streak to open up this campaign. Boy, Aiden King has looked sharp. Remember, this is a freshman arm, folks.
He's got 4 career starts in college baseball. He has thrown that fastball with conviction. And he's worked both sides of the plate. That's what Kevin O'Sullivan said. First and foremost, we talked to him this morning about him. He said his fastball control at this age is elite.
Fouled off at the plate, Manny Marin.
And the other thing, I mean, Florida's had some incredible starters that have come through there since Kevin O'Sullivan was there. What they haven't had very often is a freshman starting on the weekend. You go back to Singer and Kowar and Dane Dunning and Faedo and all those guys. They didn't start on the weekend their freshman year. Week 1 of the SEC slate. That's how much they believe in this kid right now.
Oh, that hit him. So a 2-strike, 2-out, hit by pitch, put a runner on first.
A slider right there that just got away from the freshman. He talked about how good the fastball control have been. That one just sped his arm up a little bit, got around it. Vols have a 2-out base runner.
For Stone Lawless, the redshirt freshman catcher. Maybe not the catching tools of a Cannon Peoples, but certainly has a really talented hit tool. In fact, last year, you know, he was hurt. That was one of the reasons he redshirted, but got kind of healthy down the stretch, and they were thinking about getting him in that lineup, but felt like there was already enough there, so they just kind of shut him down. And as Tony Vitello has talked about, the guy can really hit.
Sitting slider right there. Didn't recognize the fastball until a little bit too late. Now, see where the freshman goes with that. Do you go back-to-back 2-seamers inside after seeing that swing, or come back with a slider he was looking for?
Oh, they got him picked off. And there is the tag, and the inning will be over. So the hit by pitch goes for